Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Meet the Artist session with the Greater Haverhill Arts Association. I'm Joan Turner of the Greater Haverhill Arts Association, and I have a super special guest with me today. This is Barbara Ann. She is a student, friend, and artiste. So, hello, Miss Barbara. How are you today?
I'm good, Miss Joni. How are you?
Very good, very good. So we're just going to get right into it, and I want to know. And we were chit chatting a little bit before we started, and I was thinking this would be a really excellent interview because you are a student, so you're kind of giving us an all around view of what goes on here. Plus, she's my student, so I'm very interested in what she has to say. So, my first question, my dear, is when did you get interested in art? I know you've been creative for a long time, but when art specifically?
Art specifically, as it happened, um, I showed up at a paint and fun session that you had over at the Drake Senior Center.
This is let's give a good nod. Drake at Senior Center, Mammoth
Drake
Road,
Senior
Drake it.
Center, yay!
Yay, love it.
And, yeah, and that was, it's fixed in my mind. It was September 2018. Painted a lighthouse that I look back and I say, oh my gosh, that is the horrible thing I've ever seen. But you said, well, come on back, come on back. So the next month, I don't know what it was, but I came back to another painting fun, and you said, you should come to my group class on Wednesdays. I think you have some talent here. And I didn't believe you for 1 second. I didn't, but it seemed like a good thing to do, and I'm retired, so why not? So I did, and that's been my path ever since. I did the Wednesday group, and when the senior center closed, when the pandemic started, you had been mentioning off and on about private lessons, and I thought, well, it's coming every Wednesday, but I agreed finally. We had a few private lessons, and I said, oh my gosh, this is perfect for me because I'm kind of selfish. I want you all to myself for a period of time. So as we finally, talked about it and agreed, it's like, I need you to be there guiding me as I'm making mistakes, not 20 minutes later when I've already made a mess on my canvas. And so anyway, that's the story of how I got started. And I have been taking instruction from you ever since.
Again, you're always been very creative anyway. Some of her
Yes.
photography is gorgeous, and I know that you do. I was going to say bookkeeping.
Scrapbooking.
Scrapbooking. That's it. That's it. I'm having a brain fart. So scrapbooking, photography, you have a lot of cool stuff going on, and she actually has a pretty good voice too. We're trying to get her to sing a little bit more. So I have to tell you, the Drake Council on Aging will reopen, but they're doing renovations, and it was slow going because of COVID and all that good stuff. They will reopen, so a really cool nod to them because they really kept things going.
Absolutely.
So when you showed up there, she, for those of you who don't know about, she's very particular, very meticulous in the work and this and that. So working in a group environment, by the time I would work around the room and get back to her, she was impatient. She didn't wait for the next thing. She'd go on and on. Joan, I think I messed this up. So I said to her, you need private lessons, my dear. So when did you start taking private lessons? You've been taking them for a while now.
Well, it was definitely into the pandemic.
Yeah.
Um,
So
you
2 years anyway, more.
Well, we had, not quite yet. It feels like it, but not quite yet. We had some sessions at a group member's house in her backyard.
That's right. That's right, Miss Dolly.
We did that. Yeah, I didn't want to mention her name, anonymity here, but it
Just
was.
first name. Just first name.
So we had some lovely sessions in her backyard, And then the weather kept not cooperating on those days. And I decided that I would come up to your studio and try private lessons for a while. And I've been doing it ever since. So I think that was probably towards the end of the summer, maybe late summer of
Maybe
2020.
late of 2020. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right. So almost this summer will be 2 years then.
2 years. Yeah.
2 years. All right. And I have to tell you that your artwork has improved so much. And it's like the very first pictures that you did. So I like doing the fun and paints and the wine and paints because people don't really know what they're capable of until they try. And then when they come out with these really cool pictures, they go, oh, wow, I can't believe I did that. And then for some people like you, it awakens, that desire to create even more. So that was really cool, and it was very synchronistic the way that the whole thing happened. So I want to say to you, how did you end up learning? But I already know the answer to that, and we were just discussing it certainly. But I have to say, most students start off with drawing. You went right into painting, and now we're kind of going back to the drawing thing. So, what do you
Right.
think of that whole thing? Do you wish you had drawn first? Or do you think if we had done that first, it wouldn't have held your interest enough to go on? What's your take on that?
I've had a couple of different thoughts. I've enjoyed the last couple of lessons with you, private lessons with the drawing and actually kind of doing several things at once, the drawing and then wanting quick, I want to introduce color. I just want to put color on something. And so I did a little, playing around with the watercolor pencils. And then I said, this feels just like watercolor. And you said, well, if you want to try watercolor, get watercolor paint. So I promptly ordered a set of watercolor on and started playing with that. And it's not as easy as you would think, but I've actually enjoyed a few sessions as opposed to, I don't always have fun with acrylic painting because, it came to me because with my acrylic painting, I'm always on a canvas and I have this mindset, like, I can't mess it up. I want to create a masterpiece. Well, as much as I can as a student. And with this other way, it's practice. I just, in my mind, I separate the two. Acrylic, canvas, got to do it perfect. The other stuff has just all been for fun and I've been having a good time. But seriously, I really wish that I had had some good drawing training because one of the questions that you've asked, what do you find most difficult? Well, trying to paint without the ability to draw well. And, I've known that for a long time, but it's so hard to stop putting paint on canvas because I know you've heard me say, I just love putting paint on canvas.
I do. I remember. Yes.
And, but the thing is I'm not trained in drawing. I haven't had experience with different ways of doing things. So all I know what to do is I have picked some very interesting pictures.
She's
And
picked some very hard pictures is what you picked.
and I always pick things that I say, well, this looks pretty easy. And they're not.
They're
And
not. They're not.
so this learning as you go step by step, it's a long, tedious process. And I mean, for all the time that we've been at with this private lessons, I think, geez, I should be a number one painter, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
everything takes time. A lot of people, if students start when they're really young, they kind of don't know enough to argue with you. So it's like, oh yeah, you got to draw, you got to do blah, blah, blah. When they're older, they're like, no, I don't really want to draw. I want to paint. So for you, we kind of did things a little bit backwards. But I have to say, your drawing is better than what I would have thought it would be, only because you have so much experience with the painting. So I think acrylics
Thank
for
you.
you, you're welcome. I think acrylics for you were really good until, and then I could see some like frustration set in because you couldn't make things look the way that they wanted to. So at that point, you know, you're like, okay, I want my artwork to be better. And then you were open to the drawing a little bit. And you're right, the mindset is different. If you're just practicing drawing, you don't care if it's, you know, if you're just going to throw it away afterwards. With an acrylic, within a painting, you can still repurpose the canvases. I do those all the time, but
And I hate doing that.
hate doing that. And most
But I
people
have,
do.
let me tell you, the best thing about drawing is that little eraser that you can just go,
Ah, that's right.
and it's so easy. But you know, really, God help me, if someone said, you know, what should I learn first, painting or drawing? Now I know I'll say drawing.
Yeah,
Learn the
totally.
basics. Learn the basics. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, always try to encourage people to do that. But I would rather have people just take a paintbrush and throw paint all over the canvas than not do anything at all. So it depends on the person. And most people, like you, once they find that they actually do love it, that it is actually part of them, then they're going to take the time to learn the stuff that they need to know. So your pictures, okay, and I know you have some online that you're
I
willing
do.
to share with us. Is this a good
I
time to do
do.
that, Missy?
It's a perfect time to do that.
Perfect time. Hit that
And
share
I'm
button. Let's
thinking,
see those babies.
okie dokie. So you're going to have to remind me.
Hit the share button, which is the
Okay.
green button right
Oh, I see it. I see it.
there. Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
And now I want to files, photos. There it is, just like we planned. Yep.
Okay, well, oh, wait, now I can see you. Ta-da! All right, so if you click on each one individually, I have a feeling that that's what will come up.
Okay. Um, I wish I had, I'm just looking through here. I wish I had the very first one I ever painted. It's in
I
the
was
book.
gonna say that would be cool if you did.
I will afterwards, after you
Okay,
see some of the good stuff.
okay.
I'll go grab the canvas. Okay, let me, these are in all kinds of disorder. But
Up there it is. Okay, so this was one of your earlier ones, actually.
this was, and I, for a while, until I realized that artists don't usually do it, I was dating my pictures, my paintings. But I think this was one I did like in the summer of 2019. I was prolific in 2019. This, what happened was I started painting, you know, with a, I call it fun and paint, but
Yeah,
it's fun and paint.
yep. Fun and
Uh,
paint is perfect.
it was a fun and paint, and I found out pretty quickly that my disease of perfectionism kept me from being able to complete a satisfactory painting in the couple of hours that the session went on. And so what happened was I would bring it back on the next group lesson class. That's what kept me going to the Wednesday classes. I would bring it in and you helped me. And you helped me to rework things like I repainted this barn a few times. I redid all the flowers in the field. I did that sunflower. I must have repainted and painted that over about 3 times.
Yeah, I totally understand. I remember this. I remember this picture. Now, we should tell people that this is one of your acrylics because you've just
Yeah,
started doing the drawing now. So most of these are going to be
yeah.
acrylics,
Yep,
and
pretty much
this
everything on here
is
is,
acrylic.
there's a little of everything under my art. There's acrylic paintings, there's some craft things that I did from kits that the senior center provided, some of which you did. And there's one page in there of scrapbooking, and it was, I think it's the one where I did a scrapbook page of some of my art.
Oh, cool.
you know.
That would be awesome. What was the
Uh,
hardest thing? What was the hardest thing about this picture, which is on a stretched canvas, by the way, not a
it
canvas
is 16
board?
by 20 stretched canvas, and
Okay,
I have it on the wall framed
nice,
in a nice kind of a reddish brownish folder.
nice, nice.
One, I'd say it was all hard, but honestly, I think the flower parts were harder than the barn was. But that was challenging too. But this flower, um, I hope I would be able to do a better job, a better job of it today.
It's an
But
interesting thought. We should try another one at some point and see if it's
yeah,
easier.
well, considering that it had only been from, well, anyway, I've got a lot to go through here. So can we move?
Go forth, my darling. Oh, wait, you didn't even have to X out.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it again.
I'll tell you, we're invention, the mother of necessity. We're all learning how to Zoom. Before all of this, I did not know how to. I did not know how to Zoom. I am learning slowly but surely.
You know what I think I did?
You X'd out.
Do you want to put it on hold while I,
Yeah, I was going to say, let's figure this out and then return. Okay, so through the magic of Zoom, we are here seamlessly and looking at your picture once again. So we did look at this one. Are you ready to go to the next one, my
I
dear?
am ready.
All right, go forth.
We'll see what comes up. Surprise, surprise. Ooh,
Nice.
they're fun in paint. And
Barbara, stop for 1 second. Is this Zoom Pro behind? Is that part of your screen?
hold on.
Not that one, not that one. Is there
Hang
one
on.
behind there?
Right here.
Okay, so ditch the file. Can you minus that out? Like top right, there's a little bit of a little, yep, minus that out. Okay, so that we just see your pictures.
Yep.
Okay, so bring your picture screen back. There we go. That's better.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that is
yes,
pretty.
this one, you know, I don't know. I don't have a particular name for it or anything, but I really like this. This was the first, I think the first one I got an opportunity to do some daubing,
Oh
to
yeah, it's a little bit of dabbing going on. Yeah, yeah, that was
dabbing.
fun.
There you
Yep,
go.
that was
The
fun.
blue tree. And this, believe it or not, this was probably maybe the second, third, fourth one that I did as a fun in paint.
Mm-hmm.
So not much else I can say about that, but that one I think I probably had some fun.
Well, this one, well, we certainly hope so, honey. And this one, I like the variation. I mean, there's a lot of different blues in there, and especially with a beginning student, sometimes they want to just use the paints right out of the tube. But for this, we actually added some lighter colors, some darker
Right,
colors,
right.
and got a lot of variation on the leaves, which I think looks super duper. Love it.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's one I
Yeah,
would certainly not paint over. I like it.
good girl.
Oh, now this one I'm not particularly fond of, but it doesn't look a lot different than the one that you painted. This was another fun in paint.
Absolutely. This one, I called this one Blood Moon, I think, and it was something I saw online that kind of inspired. And when we do the fun and paints, not necessarily at some point that was appropriate for you. Now you can do harder stuff, to be honest with you. But
Right.
when looking for things to do for fun and paint, wine and paint, sip and paint, whatever people want to call them, all right, we're looking for things that have basic shapes in them like a circle, like the circle of the moon, like the triangle
Right.
of the dark in the clouds. And I think it's a good starting point for people who have not painted before and would like to. So that's cool.
It works. Oh,
Yeah.
this is my scrapbooking page
I
with,
love it.
isn't this pretty?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm creative. You can't expect me to be,
You
what
can't
does it
expect
say?
me to be neat too, but you
Yeah,
are. You are. That is
I
totally
am very
wrong.
neat. But
Yeah.
this is just an example of what I do when I scrapbook. I take my photographs from wherever. In this case, it was I chose some photos of my art, And you know, I crop them down, I mount them. Sometimes I will double mount pictures to make a little bit more impact. And that
Mhm.
I've been really exercising my creativity for years and years.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It really helps you stretch yourself. And when it comes
Yep.
to actually framing pictures for exhibit or something on that idea, this actually gives you some ideas about what colors look good around the artwork. So
Right.
actually,
Well,
that's kind of cool.
I know I've already developed I started taking photographs with a Brownie camera way
Yeah.
back when I was really young. But
Hey, you're really dating us, a Brownie camera.
I know.
It is just
But
dating
then,
us. Oh, gee, Barbara, what is that? I never heard of that.
yeah, well, most of us old timers, we know what those were. But you know, over the years of taking photos, I kind of learned something about color and what looks good together. And I may not be able to describe in artiste form, you know, words, but when I start putting things together, my eye tells me what looks right.
That, yeah, totally.
And
Totally.
boy, that is so handy in painting now. Moving on.
Yeah,
Now,
composition.
I really liked this one.
Yep, like it.
It was in we had a showing at the Drake Senior Center, a display, an exhibit, and one of the artists from GHAA came and judged it. And I asked her why I didn't even get an honorable mention for it. And she took another look. She said, well, you know, you really did a pretty good job, you know, a nice job for, you know, she pointed out some things she liked, but she said the highlights are all over the place. And that hadn't meant anything to me, the highlighting, until
Uh-huh.
until she said that. And I realized that, yeah, you had been saying things like that, but I was still so new at it, you know? So now I know wherever the light source is coming from, let me show you what I've learned. Wherever your light source is coming from, that's where the highlights, if you're going to highlight here, you don't go highlighting there too.
Right, right. So what the opposite of the highlight is where the darkest shadows
Is
are going
what
to
should
be.
be the darkest shadows, right?
Right, right. Totally.
So for an early painting, this is not bad. This would be another 2019 one, I think.
Nice.
I mean, really, that's not bad considering.
Not at all. Not at all.
Now this one, well, you know, it is what it is. That was another fun in paint.
What do you mean it is what it is? I like it.
It's cute.
I like it. I like what you did in the water. I like all the different variation of color in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And talking about shading and highlight, look at those clouds. Look at the shading. It's all underneath the clouds. It really makes them look full and puffy. Very nice.
See, you were teaching me all along, but this is how I had to learn. And it's a hard way to learn when you have to, each time you're painting, in this one, I had the sky to contend with and the sunrise or sunset. I never can be sure which it is. The rock in the water, the sailboat. You know, I mean, really, it's a simple painting, but I had a lot of challenge with that.
And,
But
well, that's good. That's good. It means you're
it's not
learning.
bad. It was another fun in paint that I didn't quite like, but the more I get a chance to look at it, I said, well, it's kind of like the blue tree, only there's more to it.
Yep, totally.
So that doesn't look bad at all either, getting better.
Nope, and our highlights are starting to show up in the right place. I like it.
Little by little.
Yeah, a
Now
nice progression.
this was a 2019 one too.
Yeah, I was looking at the date.
This little
This,
bugger will look at it quick.
oh, I think it's good. I love it. I love it. He looks kind of like he's cold. He looks like, and there's a lot of snow there, so I totally understand
It's
it.
the body is fine, but look at that head, will you? Out of
He looks
proportion,
good. He looks good. I like him.
but I can't part with it because it's cute.
It is, for sure.
Now this one,
Yeah. This is one you told me.
this is the original. This is before I stored it.
Yeah, this is a very good story to tell because this is the one
Well,
that was repaired, correct?
this is the one that when I was stacking things in my art room, I was a little careless apparently about what I stacked next to it. And when I went to pick it up one day, there was this really jagged tear over in here somewhere. And oh, I felt like crying. So I brought it to you and said, is there anything you can do for this? So you tried a few things and I forget what actually worked finally. It's not exhibit worthy and I certainly can't sell it, but I can tell you that at the GHAA Art Festival last year, I sold a number of prints of this and several of my other paintings. Not
Nice.
the big ones. Nobody seemed to want to buy the big
Yeah, you
things.
gotta find a space for the big ones. The little
I
stuff is
know,
easy
but
to find.
this one, I had some cards made up because I
Nice.
love this painting. I
Yeah.
love it. So
I,
once,
yeah,
um,
I have to say, one of the things that always amazes me
yeah,
about students is that even when they're in class, they'll have a piece of paper and they'll put it down for something and they put it right on top of their artwork. Gives me heart attacks,
oh,
heart attacks.
I know.
Storing them. I had a child student whose mother stored her artwork. And so I said to her, let's put this into a student exhibit. And so she said, well, they need a little restoration. I'm like, what do you mean restoration? They're not that old. And when she gave them to me, they had like cat hairs and stuff on them. I said, where were these? She said, oh, I stuck them in a closet. So a lot of times, the artwork, you really, really need to be, that one was a hard one to fix. And the tear in it was so big. I
Yeah,
really, really feared that we wouldn't get where we needed to go with it. But in the end, what actually worked is I put some slip on the back side of the canvas. So slip is just watered down clay. So I put that on there and let it dry. Go back to where we were. Okay, so we went back there and I let it dry and then we kind of repainted over it and stuff. And again, you're right. You probably don't want to sell it, but uh, you this is a nice picture and it's one of your favorites as well. So that makes
it's
it
one of my
valuable.
favorites. I like it. I like these crooked trees.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay,
Okay, my darling, what
I
else you
would-
got to show
well,
us?
let me just go through here because um, this was one I did totally on my own. And I just saw a picture and using what I knew at the time, I just started painting it. I'm not that brave today. Now I know what I don't know how to do. But
That's a very good point. If you don't, if you just have the urge to just paint and don't know what's right and what's wrong, you just go forth. So this picture, when I look at it, though, it actually you can tell you had a good time doing it.
I did.
So
I
your
just was
feeling
painting.
actually
Yeah,
shows right through.
I'd like to get there where
You
I
will, you will.
without so much. Oh, in this last, oh, let me show you one of the kits. One of the kits from the senior center uh, was button art, and the then whatever her title was, Bethany. When she saw this, she said, "Now that's what an artist does with a button painting." I
Bethany
drew
is
the
the
tree,
director. Bethany's the director
right?
at the center. And
I
actually,
painted it.
if you click on the I think it's the left, it's a little has a plus sign in it and it's a little looks like a little search icon. That will actually blow it up a little bit and people will be able to see a little bit more of the detail. Nice. So
I ju-
this is a combination of acrylic paint and buttons. And what did you use to put the buttons on? Do you just glue them on there?
Well, I think I just used a super glue. I might have used a small glue gun, but
Okay.
I think it was more, I'd have to look at it, the original here up close, but I think it was, let's just say we use super glue.
This done on a canvas or a board? What's this
It
on?
is on a canvas. Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
you painted it first on the
I
canvas.
did the painting, did the background. Yep.
Nice, nice.
Then did the tree. And I don't think you can see down here, but I painted a little bit. Turn around here. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, that's a different one. Oh, yes. No, this is the bottom of it. All these little buttons, that's
Yeah.
grass flowers. But I have another one that I like better. I want to show you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, this is another one I did on my own. And then I added shells to it to make it a 3D thing.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm going to keep going back because I don't want to have to talk about every single painting.
Show us your favorites.
This was my wall.
Now, at home, you created a wall of your
This
art.
is over my sofa. Now
Nice.
it's changed since because I kind of moved things around, but there's my sunflower. And
Nice.
um, this I painted, put a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears into that lily. And then,
I remember, I'm still
oh,
emotionally scarred from those
it
pictures.
was agony, agony.
Agony, agony.
I had,
I
yep.
remember working on that one and the one on the other side with you, and you were like, redo it, redo it. I'm like, that's it. I'm emotionally scarred now for the rest of my life.
I look at these and I can't believe that I did those so early in my painting. And then everything else are photographs that I've taken on my walks around town and then just blown up and framed.
Nice, nice.
This is something else really good. I want to get to the really, well, you can see here anyway that there's some craft things thrown in there. This one, I never was terribly impressed with, but it's the one original that sold at the art festival last year.
I really, really like it. So I don't know why you're not impressed with it, but I love it.
I know.
I love all the depth. I like the depth.
There's a
Foreground
lot of,
trees and
yeah,
this,
yeah.
yeah, a lot of
Well,
depth here.
when I look at it like this, well, I have a print of it. That's the other thing is that I have prints in various sizes
Yeah,
of everything I've painted.
excellent.
It's the only way I can be sure of holding on to them. Now, this thing I took from a calendar. Um, it just appealed to me so much. Just the limbs reaching out to each other and
Nice.
in love, you know.
That that shows part of your personality. You have two living things reaching out and kind of
Reaching out.
embracing, and this arc of caring and love. I love looking at artwork that shows something about what's going on inside the artist.
I
And
think,
I have to say, as a colorist and an intuitive, purple is the color of understanding, compassion, and intuition. So the fact that you're drawn to it,
oh, that's me. That's
again,
me
yeah,
all
that's
the way.
you. Totally.
Um, and let me see. I, I gave that one to my neighbor. She's the only person other than me who looked at it and she said, "Oh, I love that." And I
Nice. A
asked her a
kindred
little
soul.
while. Yeah. And I said,
Yeah.
"Like it?" And she said, "Well, yeah." So I said, took it off the wall and gave it to her.
Wonderful.
There's
Wonderful.
another one of those art button art things. And this one, I added some little gem stars.
Nice. Can never have enough bling. That's my take
See,
on things.
I get a kick out of doing stuff like that too. And this one I gave to my favorite teacher, Joan.
Yes,
That,
it's hanging on my wall downstairs. I absolutely
yep.
love this.
I won't point out any imperfections, but
No, there aren't any. No.
it's not bad. I really like looking at it.
Nice, nice. And this is another one that's on a canvas that you painted the
On
back
a
first in
canvas,
acrylics and then
absolutely.
painstakingly put every one of those faux
Oh
jewels
my
on there.
goodness, yes, with a little tweezer. Oh, my goodness, yeah,
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 I find that there are a lot of things that I don't have patience for, yet I can sit and paint for like 4 or 5 hours without any problem.
yeah, I know you can, yeah.
This is a nice picture. This is one of my favorites of yours.
This was a lovely one, and I'll tell you where I got the idea for this. We had a display, an exhibit over at Billerica Public Television.
Yep, BATV and
Yep, and this,
Boston Road, Billerica, Mass.
oops, absolutely. This was someone else's painting was up on the wall, and I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, I love that. I want to paint that. So I told you, and you searched for the pattern for that, and we worked on it. And I
Absolutely.
really, really like this. Let me see if I can make that a little bit. That's over on my other wall. I love looking at this. Look at those colors.
I'm looking at the texture on the trees.
Yes.
It's an amazing piece of work.
Yep. I got carried away with the black marks here, but hey, I always have to get carried away with something.
Hey,
But
we're all extremists in our own way.
I know. But I look at some of these from now. This is a 2021.
I was just gonna say, I'm looking at the date 2020.
Yeah. And if I could have done all this nice blending and look at the snow there, why do I have such a difficult time today doing the same things? And
Because
I,
now like I said, what you said before is that you were kind of unaware of all the intricacies. Now you're aware of them, so you have a different mindset when you're
yeah,
doing
let
them.
me lead right into um, the last one I did because that was so challenging. Oh my goodness. I couldn't begin to tell you what was most challenging here. Yeah, I can. This snow, this
I, that
snow,
snow is awesome. That snow is awesome. Let me tell you.
this is an awesome picture. This one,
Yeah.
along with another one, are on display now at the Tewksbury Public Library.
Yeah,
Um,
we both have pictures there, and that
yes,
actually, those pictures will be there through
April
March,
26th.
April
Yep,
26th. So, yeah, Tewksbury Public Library, and I don't remember the road it's on, but absolutely encourage people to go and take a look. Besides our artwork, there's quite a few nice pieces there.
right. And
And
they're
run,
total variety, total
yeah,
variety.
total variety. And the woman who runs it, her name is Valerie. Not sure I can remember her last name, but her and her husband run the whole thing, which is totally amazing to me. And she does a good job. God love her. Oh,
Yes.
nice. Yeah.
Okay, this one, I was going to show this one, and then as has been typical of me, I take a finished picture and I say, well, this is pretty old and it could use a little sprucing up. So I got out the white paint and I made a mess, and that's
It
all.
is snowing in that picture.
But this is the original, and that's what I'm going to focus on is the original.
Yeah,
But
I think that's nice, actually.
this is kind of pretty, I like it.
Yeah, and the snow on these trees is a little bit more realistic. The other picture that we like so well, the
Yeah,
snow on the trees was a
it's
little
not.
overwhelming. This is nice.
This is better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Left it alone, but this lives on in my memory.
That's it. We got it.
Beside that, oh, this one, we sweated a lot over getting me to learn this. This is where I learned the new technique using the
Rigor.
rigger brush that has long, thin bristles. So when you paint, you go like this, you flick your wrist, you flick your wrist. Well, that was so hard because I want to go And so
Yeah,
teaching me how to flick my wrist and not draw. And the good news about this one is at a exhibit through GHAA up at Buttonwoods last June, I believe it was. Um, I won an award for Best in Show Amateur,
best in show, amateur division. You got it, baby.
amateur
That's
division.
awesome. And actually, I think, was there a monetary award? I know you got an extra
$25 plus
a
my
year's membership.
through August 2023.
Nice. Yep.
So
Yep. This is an
I will be
awesome picture.
renewing my membership.
Good girl.
Let's see, I like picking out these things. Oh, and these two, I wish they were more together. I did this one first, and that was a Pinterest item. That caught my eye. I loved it. And I started off doing the background on my own. And then I got a lot of help because I had to learn, I had to learn how to draw the ellipses for this.
Ellipses, yes.
And as I'm practicing today in drawing the ellipses, it's one of the more difficult things that I've had to learn. And I'm working on it.
You're working it. You're doing a good job, woman.
And then I followed that up, my copy. I went and
I love that picture. I think that one's cool.
I love this to death. And this one has more stuff in it. I went, well, at the time at the senior center, they had a little thrift store, you know, and I decided I wanted to paint a teacup. So I went in there and I looked and I found a cup that gave me roughly this shape, but it was a little thicker, squatter. This is what I ended up with. I painted this.
Yeah.
And this is from my scrapbooking supplies. It was like a decal you could put on a page. And so I used it to paint from.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then, the artist that sat next to me or aside from me had a tea bag hanging from her cup. And I said,
can I have that tea bag? Give me that tea bag.
Can I use your tea bag? So there's some realism in here.
Do you remember who the artist was? Who did you borrow the tea bag from?
It was Richard. What's her first name?
Paula Richards.
Paula
Richards.
In Arizona, yes.
Yeah, she's moved to Arizona now, but we stay in touch. We're good.
Oh, another one. This I did with a lot of glitter on top of the painting.
Yeah.
And let's see, and this one's a real one. There are a lot of images on Facebook. This is of Camel's Hump in Vermont. I'm from Vermont, and I'm very familiar with the two main mountains around the Burlington area, Camel's Hump and Mount Mansfield. Well, the humps are totally exaggerated. In real life, they don't look like that. But it gave me a good opportunity to paint the mountain itself, something real, something that meant something to me. And I love the fall foliage. So we have lots of fall foliage here.
And it's a good time too, because you're saying you exaggerated the humps. I think a lot of times people, when they're working from photographs, they don't understand that they can take artistic license, make the humps a little bit more exaggerated, or take the telephone wire out of the picture or the poles or whatnot. So always, you talked earlier about the composition of a picture, how to arrange things and make it look good, and so on and so forth. So that's what this is all about composition. And, like you said, you're painting something that's very meaningful to you. So absolutely.
Okay, now I can't see what I can do to make it get smaller again.
Let's see.
All my words.
I was going to say, try the arrow on the right side and let's see what happens there.
Okay. Yeah, somehow it went away. Okay.
Keep going. I actually would love for you to show your daisies, which I'm assuming you're working up to.
Well, they're way at the end.
Yeah.
There's these things are, okay, now this is not moving. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we got to talk about this one. This is the
We
other
got to.
play over at the library now for until the end of April. The funny thing about this is the biggest challenge was the water here and this earth, which now looks really beautiful thanks to a lot of teaching. But these trees, I practically did all by myself.
And they're gorgeous.
And they're gorgeous. I've had more comments about the trees, and I think, now, how did I do them? I just, I
What do you mean, how did you do that? Okay.
Well, I struggle so much
yeah.
now.
Yeah, but you
Did you
have
want to
done
say?
so many trees that you're getting very good at them.
I
Absolutely.
hope so. That one,
Looks good.
this is, I really like this. This one, I followed the instructions in a how to paint book because I didn't know how to paint. So we worked with the instruction book.
Yeah, and this tree looks very good as well. And the thing that makes them look good is you started with the darker values and then highlighted with medium
Yes.
greens and highlights and whatnot, which I think was, if I remember correctly, was a little bit difficult for you at one point.
Yeah,
But like I
absolutely.
said, you have done so many trees now, you really can tell that you're getting the hang of it, my darling.
I like this a lot. I
Yeah,
really,
this is nice.
um, ooh, and this is some of what, see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Um, for the show, I had made a lot of cards.
Cards. Yeah, you
And
did a lot of prep work for that show. You did a
I
lot
did
of prep work and you put a lot of
yeah,
work into it, but
yeah,
you're one of the people that sold the most as well. So
I
that
did.
paid off. That paid
It
off for
was
you.
mostly small stuff,
That's
like,
okay.
but it worked out very, very well. And I
Mhm.
was to use some of my scrapbooking tools like a border maker.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I've got more of those to do. I hope to be doing them at a scrapbooking workshop I'm going to at the end of the month.
So tell people a little bit about the materials. I mean, the cards are made out of what? Are they made out of tag board? Did you buy them that way?
Well, they're cardstock. Some of them, like this size, I actually bought at Michael's. I mean, really, there's so much you can buy there. They have card sets
Okay. Is this
with
a set?
different sizes. Yes, so I have a set and I have the matching envelope.
Good, good. Because when I was younger or earlier in my career, whatever, I used to actually cut the cards myself using a paper cutter.
Oh,
But
I've done that. I can do
this
that.
is a lot easier. Plus, like you said, you get the envelopes with them.
Right. And this one, let's see, these two here, this one, I think I recognize it as a print that I had a bunch of cards printed up at Staples. And these two, hold on, can I kill that phone?
Yes, you most certainly can, my. Okay, so discussing
So,
these cards. Nice.
right, so I was gonna say, so these were handmade, I think out of this particular four, this one was printed at Staples. And I also, there's a color copy center here that I had a bunch of cards made that are much better quality, but also cost me more.
Yeah, I would comment a little bit because I mean, a lot of people will go like to CVS or Staples and have color copies made, but sometimes and it seems to vary from store to store. It's like not all Staples do good, not all
That's right,
Staples do
that's
bad.
right.
So I always say, if you're going to do something like that, ask them when's the last time you calibrated the machine, whatever it is. So you
Well,
said the
the
ones.
the other thing is specify that you want it done on cardstock. Just thin, just regular paper. No, it needs to be good quality cardstock. And the cardstock at the Color Copy Center was much better quality.
Okay, so is it called Color Copy Center?
Well, Carbon Colors in Drake.
Carbon Colors and Drake it.
Carbon
Okay.
Colors in Drake.
Yeah, because those were quite lovely, and
Yeah,
I do
and
think the
these,
quality was better.
right.
Yeah.
These two are examples of my photographs that I mounted. This one I mounted on a blue, then on a white, and this one I mounted on black, and then on the card.
Okay, so these you ended up
These are my
cutting.
photographs. Yep,
So you cut them and then mounted them.
that's right.
Got it. Got it.
It's labor intensive. What? I think I just reached the end. Hold on, let me get rid of my friends. I couldn't have, because we didn't see the, I have to figure out how I can get back to,
So I remember this one. We really agonized over this one.
this is, I know it, but now this is my pride and joy. And I have to show you, this print isn't the best quality, but you have to see it in its original. So I'd like to, let me just see if I can supersede this.
I think you can just stop the screen share.
But this one I think of as my best effort, probably the most challenging. I don't know if it was the most challenging, but I love it. I had to do, this is, I think, the beginning of my awareness that I need some drawing practice. Honestly, this is the one I actually did outside practice on using the rigger brush to be able to achieve that. The fence was difficult. The flowers were difficult because each one, if you notice, has a little different angle to it.
Yes,
I
totally.
could see that. Another thing that you, oh my gosh, you've told me so many times is you need to really see, look, see what's there. I forget how you say it, but it's,
I think students, one of the very first things I tell them before you do anything else, learn how to see, because you actually
yes,
can
yes.
see these things, but see where the highlights are, see where the shadows are, see the direction.
See
So
the angles,
yeah,
because what's
totally.
so beautiful about this one, I think, is the angles of those flowers. And this one, I post all my pictures on as I paint them, as I finish them, I post them on my Facebook page. And then I watch the comments roll in 20, 30 at a time. And on this one, people commented about the daisies. The daisies. Oh, those are so beautiful. How did you do, like that?
Yeah,
But I love it. But I really do. I think that's all I've got. See, that's a lot more than I thought.
that's a lot more than you thought. And I'll tell you, that Daisy picture inspired many people. I've had two
Yeah.
other students who have done them as well. Once they saw yours, they're like, "Oh, that's really beautiful. Is that something I can do?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Okay, we have to look at this one.
we got to look at the rainbow lady."
Um, I actually sold a number of cards at that art show, the festival.
Uh-huh.
The original is still mine.
Good, good.
I was willing to part with it. But this one, I just wanted to do some free expression. This is controlled free expression.
That's
Very,
it.
very controlled. Painted this over and over and over until I laid down this top layer of paint and I said, that's it. I love this. I just love, love, love it. But you gave me a lot of help with the shaping of this. And I love her. I just absolutely love her.
She is quite beautiful.
She's she remains my best free expression.
Great. Great, great.
I know. I think that's probably it, don't you think?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
That's a lot.
I truly, truly appreciate all of this. And show me what you have in your hand, because is that the Daisy's picture in your hand?
Yep, you hold on a second. I'm going to give us a big screen.
Well, we have a big screen on this side already.
Okay, this is
Okay,
the,
so that's her original, and you can see that the frame really accentuates the picture because of the
right,
color work. Yeah. So
yep, absolutely.
picking out the frames actually is a big deal as well. Now, one more thing before we go. In the beginning of this interview, you had talked about your very
Oh,
first
you
painting.
remembered that.
Did you find it? Let's see it, woman.
Well, let me see. It's a big one. This is one of the 16 by 20.
16.
You
Yep,
love to do your funning paints, and
yep.
I like painting this big.
There it is. There it is. Gotta love it. That's her very first painting. And when you were so sure that you couldn't paint anything at all. I love it. Thank you, woman. And so, unless you have more you want to share, I want you to tell people how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in cards or buying a canvas or just talking to you and saying, "Yo, how did you do that?"
Oh, well, I am most happy. I love talking about my, artwork now. Um, well, I've got my phone number up here next to my name, Barbara
Yep.
E.
And we could see it. Let's say it for those who
I'll
can't quite
say it,
see it.
978-970-2879.
Thank
And
you.
I'm here in Lowell. And let's see, how else can you get hold of me?
How
Um, I-
about through email?
well, my email, I have two accounts, but the best one, the most public one is Barb in Lowell.
No spaces.
Nope, Barb in Lowell. And in case you're not sure what I'm saying, I'm Barbara. I live in Lowell, so it's Barb in Lowell.
Okay, so it's Barbin
Lowell.
Lowellin.
Comcast.net.
Okay, so Barb and Lowell at Comcast.net
Comcast.net.
or at 978-970-2879, and they
And,
can get a hold of you.
and I do have my Facebook page. Um, the name on of my account is Barbara, middle initial A period, Forant, Forant,
F is in Fred, ORAN
A-N-T,
is in Nancy, T is
T
in
as in
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah,
So it's 2 3-letter words, for ant.
right. For Ant.
I've
Love it,
got
love
middle
it.
initial A, that gets it, that's the way the profile was set up way back when I first set up my Facebook account. But yeah, I have photos in my paintings included in my photos, as well as all the activities.
Nice, nice. So
So
they'll get a chance to see the well-rounded you. They'll see some of your
absolutely.
scrapbooking, they'll see some of your art, and you do walk a lot and take pictures of the scenery
Mhm.
that's around you, and that has led to some very nice pieces. So thank you, my darling, for
Oh,
sharing.
this has been a pleasure.
Yeah, this is nice. It's really nice that you're willing to share it. Okay, my darling, I will say adieu for now, but I will see you at class. I will actually
Well,
see you this week.
I will be there.
All right, my darling.
Bells and whistles.
Yes, we'll see everyone later. Thank you very much. Greater Haverhill Arts Association, you can contact or look online just by typing in GHAA.art, and that will bring you to our website, and you can see some of the other MTAs, which is the Meet the Artist interviews that we have done. And it's a very active community, is it not? So,
It is.
so you can see where all the exhibits are. We're celebrating our 50th year. Yay. So we're going to actually do a little partying as well. All right. So hopefully we'll see you there, Miss Barbara.
You will.
Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.